Anyway, welcome everybody to our favorite podcast,
Infinity and Beyond.
Yes.
I love that podcast.
Where we're all space rangers.
Yeah.
Yes.
We all wanted to be space rangers.
It still wigs me out that that's on the desk.
I want to be the very best, and I want to be the guy with the pen.
Fuck you, dude.
Fucking Taika Waititi's character.
Okay. I have this Buzz Lightyear. I've always been a Buzz Lightyear fan.
Okay.
Since I
He's
was
the
4
best,
years
yeah.
old.
Uh-huh.
My mom got this for me 3 years ago
Uh-huh.
for Christmas.
Yeah.
And then got my brother the Woody.
Uh-huh.
I was like, obviously, I gotta bring it out.
So you've had this only for 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Do you still play? Do you play with it? Do you go?
I don't think it really fully moves.
Dude, what if it moves?
you don't need it to move.
Dude, I remember when the first movie came out, my friend had like the legit one.
Oh, the one with the wings?
Yeah, where you push the button and it...
I also had that one.
And it had, you push the side button and it did the...
And
And
if you
love
press
that
the
shit.
buttons here, it has
Yeah,
lines.
lines.
Yeah, dude.
I didn't know that.
Dude, 2 days later, I broke it and like its arm fell out. And it was just like the movie.
Look how Bob's not like. He's like, no. He's like, it's more in the movie now.
and
It's
then I just taped it.
Okay, I mean, if it hasn't been made clear, we're going to talk about Lightyear.
I thought it was just the Woody movie that's gonna come out next.
Who knows, right?
You know what I do hate about this movie? When it starts off, he's like, Andy got this toy in 99.
That's what I was going to say.
And then it was like, this is his favorite movie.
Yeah, that's
I'm like,
bullshit.
I'm like, what?
Well, this was my thing, right? Because I'm like, this is the frame, right? This is the frame they're saying. Like, this is the movie he watched where he wanted to get a Buzz Lightyear toy.
Yeah.
I'm like, bullshit. This fucking movie did not come out in 1995.
Impossible.
Impossible. There's no way.
This is the HD remake, okay?
Well, no, not. I don't mean like an animated film, right?
Oh,
Well,
just like content?
Yeah. So if I were to think of this, let's say this was like a live action film that he saw, right?
Bro, when was the Cold War?
In like the 50s.
95.
Bro, this came out in 1965.
No, I mean that's the side. I mean the thing is, it's like the idea of Buzz Lightyear is it's space opera,
Yeah.
right?
Of course.
So you would your brain goes to Star Wars and Flash Gordon and Dune and
Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, all that bullshit.
Lightyear.
And then you see this movie. I'm like, this movie didn't come out in 95.
Are you saying it's because of that one stuff that happened?
No, I don't give a shit about that. That's whatever. I didn't even care. That shit should be normalized anyway. I don't even care. That's like the least of my problem. That is the least of my problems
Well,
with this
I'm just
film
saying.
because it's not a problem.
Well, I'm not saying it's a problem. I'm saying it's just not of its time.
No, of course not. No, of course not. But still, it's so
No,
stupid.
of course.
Yeah.
When they said it was his favorite movie of the time, I'm like,
I don't like how they threw that in there.
I thought it was like if this movie was like a 10 out of 10.
I
sure.
feel like that brings the movie down for me. Just that opening line.
They cheated me.
Well,
like
Well, I think the issue is you got to pick you picture because you're about his age throughout the movies.
yeah.
Right?
So you're like, oh, so if I was a kid, this would be like my favorite movie. And then I watched it, I'm like, man,
You know
What the fuck?
what kind of space movie I saw as a kid that I thought would be dope with
Alien.
that. No. I mean I did see that. I saw Aliens when I was younger, I guess.
Toy Story, you right.
I mean, obviously Toy Story, but if you're thinking about something similar, right? If you think about the 90s,
Yeah.
I think about fucking like Independence Day.
Yeah.
And that's the type of movie that I think this would come from.
You know what I was thinking of? The
What?
Power Rangers.
See, there's that too. But I was thinking it's a little higher quality in space, But yeah, I understand. It's that
I
same
do
level of
think it's funny
cheesiness.
though. He's like, I go Power Rangers. And you're like Independence Day. I'm picturing toys from Independence Day.
I think they existed too.
Like a-
I think
Oh
there
my
was.
God.
Like a Will Smith action figure.
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't be
Bullshit.
surprised.
If it's one of them, I'm buying it. I'm not gonna lie.
But but I'm thinking of it's that type of movie, right?
Yeah.
Like what you consider to be the quintessential like 90s blockbuster, right? Of that time period. There is? I knew it.
No way. What the fuck?
But
Dude,
you-
it's only $15.
I don't know who
Because I
that
think I
is.
remember seeing like the aliens, like in the suit and stuff, and that was a whole thing.
Oh my
But-
god, it's as blurry as it can be, but look at all the weird shit. I can get the spaceship
Yeah.
and the alien. Oh my god.
But like and that's the thing, right? That's what you think this movie or this would have been, right? Or it's either that, or it's an older space. He basically saw Flash Gordon, and he thought Flash Gordon was cool.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, and that's I can understand where you're coming from with that, and that there's that idea. It's like I saw this thing, but the only reason I don't think it's that, it's the whole reason that I think the toy is new. Especially when he goes to the toy store later and there's a whole royal fuck ton of them.
Well, you see, when you go
in
watch
the second movie,
Toy Story 2, the one toy, the Stinky Pete.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, we were very famous until...
No, they were.
Yeah, until the space race or whatever that happened.
And then there was all these...
And then astronauts...
Yeah.
We're like, oh, this is the coolest shit, and then Buzz Lightyear came. So so obviously it didn't come out in 1995.
No, but I feel like, but even then, I feel like it's still I think it's a product of like the 80s.
Yeah.
Because there's no way a film like that would have been made prior to that point.
It also never says when it was made. It just says it's his favorite film.
Yeah.
So, which is...
what? He took 10 years to watch it.
Yeah, but...
Well, no, it's possible, right? I mean, it's like a lot of like
Would you
movies...
watch Independence Day as like an 8-year-old?
Yes.
I did.
Would you watch Aliens as an 8-year-old?
I did. But I mean, but still, it's like a lot of those movies that I love are way before my time anyway.
Oh,
Yeah.
And so that's not surprising, right? Because you watch whatever your parents watch and stuff like that. I mean, as a kid, I probably shouldn't have watched Nightmare on Elm Street, but I did.
What's wrong with that?
I don't know.
Still paying the price to this day.
So, I mean, it's that kind of thing, right? Yeah. I just figured it'd be a little newer just because how there's so many of them in Toy Story 2 and how it's such a big thing in Toy Story 2, which is like another fucking 10 years after whatever this is. So, if anything, the best equivalent I can think of is probably like Star Wars.
Yeah.
Which is probably what its equivalent is.
I can see that.
Is probably like Star Wars.
I definitely see that in this movie.
But yeah, obviously. But I don't feel like this movie feels like that. It just feels like a modern sci-fi movie.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm going to tell you right now, this movie was mid.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's like this movie committed the crime of just being mid.
Yeah. Because I like, as we're going back to the beginning part where it says it's like his favorite film, in my mind, that's like such a reach. It's basically saying this film is going to be so good that this character loved it a lot.
Well, the thing is, it doesn't have to be that amazing from our perspective, right?
Yeah, but it still has to be able to.
It has to be just good.
Yeah.
Because there's movies I can probably think of as a kid that I loved that may not be great now.
Yeah, like my favorite as a kid, Lion King. I heard it's just mid, right?
The live action mid.
The live action is pretty mid.
Oh, I heard that was the best.
But I mean, it's like, so it has to be something that captures that childlike wonder in a certain degree. I mean, as a kid, I mean, the reason like a kid loves Star Wars is, the pew pews and the lightsabers and all that stuff.
I don't feel like that had enough of this. Like I love.
No, it doesn't. Yeah.
When he went to space.
Yeah.
Any of that time, I was like, this is fun.
Yeah. Any of the action stuff, I'm like, dope. This is what this should be.
The whole movie should have been Buzz kicking ass.
Yeah,
the whole movie.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean, though, right? That's why I make like the Independence Day reference. It's the idea of like for a kid to look at this and be like, I want that thing. They're monkey braining it. They're just like,
but like for him to be like, yo, fuck my cowboy. I want to be an astronaut.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It has to be that type of action hero.
Oh, dude, I can't wait for the Woody movie done by Clint Eastwood. And it's just
dude, you know how in Toy Story they had that TV show and they show you the story of Woody.
Yeah,
you should redo that.
Like the Woody's Roundup.
Yeah, just do that.
Well, and that's the thing. I think Woody come from. It's like he's very much like a Lone Ranger type character, right?
That's what I said. You get Clint Eastwood in there.
Yeah, that's where he comes from, right? It's just the Lone Ranger.
I feel like basically this movie is if you got Clint Eastwood and then you just did none of the stuff that Clint Eastwood would do. They're like, we're gonna hire you, but we're just gonna have you in the background.
Because this, I mean, and that's like I said, that tagline just ruins so much of this movie for me.
Also, I feel like this movie, I'd argue, like obviously he's the main character.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like he was in it a lot. Is a weird part to say.
You don't think so? Oh, you don't feel like he did like anything major?
Yeah,
no, he doesn't.
I feel like he shows up.
I mean,
shit goes down, and then everybody else does stuff, and then he's like, "I got to become a teammate now."
He has a character arc in a very modern sense.
where he wants to be Lone Ranger and then he realizes friends are good, like every movie?
No, I feel like
That's what I felt like this movie was.
Because I don't mean that necessarily.
Okay.
It's more like the modern idea that these action heroes aren't like amazing. It's like the subverting of that idea. And then you have like the misfits and you have these other people and they get pushed forward as like the main character or whatever.
Yeah.
Or as the main thing. And that is his character arc, is accepting them and all those things with the justification of he made one mistake, right? Whereas he believes it's one mistake, even though that could
what
fucked up.
I interpret is his arc or theme overall is you have to let go of your past to move forward, right?
Yeah. But see, I pictured that, and it's also like you also have to allow people back in, because I felt like when he came back, basically right away he's just like fuck off everybody.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, I'm gonna get back in the ship and go forward even farther.
I mean, this movie follows the theme of every other one, where you have a crazy action hero with like a kid sidekick, and eventually he has to learn that the kid sidekick isn't so bad, and that's what this film is. And it's like, and with a extra probably modern ideas and sensibilities in there, but I don't believe that is the movie it's supposed to be.
It has like conflicting things because at the beginning they established that Buzz Lightyear has friends. He doesn't have trouble having friends.
Yeah, he has
whatever.
a friend. Yeah.
And then on the half of the movie, it's like, I don't like people anymore because I don't trust people for some reason.
Because the 2 minutes I was on Earth, everyone fucked me, I guess.
Nobody fucked them.
I don't necessarily think that is the motivation of him.
I don't think
it's more like
feels like
that's how it feels like.
I know, but it's more, I think, because what I gathered and the way he is standoffish is like, I like competent people.
Yeah,
is what he is.
Yeah,
and it's not that he has trouble making friends.
Yeah.
Because the main impetus at the beginning of the movie is he's like, I just don't like dealing with
I don't even know if it's competent people.
Yeah.
I think he wants his way, is what it was.
Yeah, there's that
it's like,
too.
I want to go hyperspeed so we can get back and not deal with this planet. And then the people are like, oh, we just put in a light shield and we'll survive. And he's like, nah, fuck you. And then he steals the ship and then we got a shitty movie.
Well, at first is the one rookie guy. Like, you gotta take a rookie. But I don't want it. He's gonna slow us down. You gotta take him. Fine, fuck it.
Yeah.
And then obviously slows him down. He's like, I gotta go save this stupid asshole.
And that's what I mean by that, right? Because that becomes everything else. Because that middle part of the movie when he's doing the thing, I mean, it's just Buzz being Captain America.
Yeah.
It's
Worst
just
character.
Yeah, it's just he has this thing.
That's all I saw.
Obviously, for many reasons, but he has this thing, and he single-mindedly just wants to do that thing.
He fucking just tunnel vision.
He tunnel visions it hard, right? Mm-hmm. And then that's kind of what the movie becomes at a certain point, right? Yeah. Because that's what he is. That's who he is as a person. That's the standard action hero trope. You fucking tunnel vision the shit. You're and like, you do everything until it's done.
I can get it done. You can't because fuck you.
Which, like, I didn't mind it because that's how Buzz was at the beginning.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, you know, it's the beginning story. It makes sense. Okay, moving on.
But, yeah, but I don't know.
It's kind of rough though.
Yeah.
I think what makes it more rough is his arc is almost exactly the same as Toy Story's.
Mm-hmm.
But the person making him change is infinitely worse.
Yes.
Oh, dude, I hated all the side characters in this fucking movie.
Because
you don't want to be tight with
fuck your pen guy. He was the worst character, dude. He did nothing.
He had the best payoff.
He did nothing.
He opened
if anything, he made everything worse.
He didn't even open it. He gave it the pin for the old lady to open it. Fuck that guy.
Because that's the thing, right? It's like, because in Toy Story, like the thing that brings Buzz down is Woody and the other toys, but mostly because Woody's also a dick in his own right, and he does the dickish thing. And I think the beautiful thing is just two dick characters made each other change, right? That's what makes Toy Story what it is.
When two dicks become one, they have docked together.
It's the Chinese finger trap, dude. And they have to come together.
Which one has the foreskin?
Oh boy. But
he had the helmet.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah.
But like, and it's just that's the difference, right? Both of them make him like change to whatever he becomes. But this one's just infinitely less interesting.
I also feel like in Toy Story, they make him seem like the best ranger possible. Like he's kicking ass.
Well, you ever watched like the animated series?
Oh, yeah.
He's a bamf, dude.
No, I know. But I said this movie just makes him feel like he doesn't do anything. He shoots like 2 shots at a robot that blows up and doesn't do anything, and then it's over.
Dude, like when he gets captured and he's like, "Whoa, what am I gonna do? Help, guys! I'm just holding my leg."
That's the thing. That's a modern sensibility. Yeah. It's the idea of like the subversion of the action hero to make the little guy feel better.
Yeah.
Which is fine in certain ideas and stuff, and I understand that, people need to feel better about themselves and whatever's. But like when you're thinking of a movie like this, what that's supposed to be just like an action film in itself and is marketed as the film that this kid loves, that shouldn't exist. No. That's not the point of that type of movie.
I'm not sure if my brain went to La La Land when I'm watching this film, but what the fuck? Why were those people on the opposite side?
What do you mean?
His 3 helpers.
Oh,
I blanked out. I was like watching it. So then they were helping.
They weren't good enough to be actual soldiers or whatever, so they went to go practice.
So they went to go LARP.
Yeah, role play them being guards or what, and then shit went down. They're like, "Oh, we can't get back."
Yeah.
And they got stuck outside.
Shit went down with the robots?
Yeah.
So did everyone die inside?
No, they're inside that shield.
But they just trapped in the shield.
Oh, and the other people were just like, "Oh well, I guess we live."
So whoever's outside is outside.
That's basically what happened. They went LARPing.
Yeah.
And then they looked and they're like, "Oh fuck, an alien invasion happened, and now we can't get inside."
Because I'm sitting there watching the film, I'm like, "What happened? Where did these guys come from?"
That's what it was. Because that's why they go to the outpost. Because that's where they were playing their make believe, their pretend.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there like, how did we get here? Because all I remember is like, she's like, "Get down," and then the next thing I remember is the best boy shooting the harpoon. Yeah. And then I'm just like, what happened in between? Where did my brain go?
Yeah, that's yeah.
I kind of liked and hated the beginning. I kind of liked it how they had that little story, trying to like do like the up treatment.
Yeah.
Right, which I kind of liked. It was kind of just a cheap attempt, but they just made Buzz look so shitty and so dumb because obviously he's become shitty because he's like, "Oh, I have these friends or what, I want to save all of us." But they're like, "Dude, we cool. We could just leave you." Like, "No, fuck that." And just skips years and years and sees people, like his friends die.
Yeah.
Anyway. And then the other scene where like he comes back the first time and have to explain to him, a space ranger who knows science, what the fuck happened to him. He's been looking like he's just dumb.
Yeah, because they make him feel stupid at a lot of moments. And as you said, very one-track mind.
What's weird, and it's funny too, because the beginning of the movie like makes it seem like he's really smart, like that. Like that.
He's just like he's doing fucking calculus something there.
And he has 30 seconds to survive. He's like
watch my big brain.
And you don't see that ever again.
No.
And I feel like this is an issue. This is an issue of a.
They fucking nerfed him 5 minutes after.
This is an issue of another movie that we haven't seen yet that I've heard does this. The idea of you take your hero and you make him super fucking stupid.
Yeah.
What movie is this?
It does that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I mean, sometimes it's played. Well, in that case, it's played for laughs.
Yeah.
But in this case, it's played for conflict, and this has happened in other places too. And there's almost nothing that irks me more than establishing a fairly intelligent character, and then nerfing them because you have no other way to provide conflict.
What it feels like is playing like a fucking RPG, where in the beginning it's like, learn the controls.
Oh, when you're OP.
like every fucking Metroid game.
Yeah. You're like, dude, this is great.
And then they take everything away from you.
Pew. Pew. You're like, fuck, what happened?
But I mean, in that case though, you're still technically like a smart character, right? Because you get all your shit back. But that's not what this does.
I'd almost rather have that where it's like, he goes through space time bullshit, and then he pops up years later and say just all you have to say is like technology moved forward, and his outfit and gear is in the past, and that he needs to his brain is still smart, but his limits are way weaker than most people's now because of time.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
And that's what I would say. If you want to do something to dumb him down, sure. Not just make him go, I'm super smart, and now I'm the dumbest character on this planet.
Because I can understand becoming indifferent, and I can understand becoming single-minded, and focusing all your into that. But when you have to bring that character down to make other characters shine, it's useless.
But I
it's
also
just
argue
bad.
it's like I don't feel like any of the other characters fully shined. It feels like he was here.
Yeah.
Everybody was here. He dropped to here. They were still here. Even at the end of the film, no one
The
moved.
best character for me was the fucking cat robot, dude.
Oh,
Yeah,
Socks
obviously.
was
Yeah.
the best
Socks
character.
is a bro.
That's bullshit for Cat as the best character.
Socks is the best character.
I do agree with that.
He was so fucking funny.
I think my favorite part was he's like, they were going to decommission you. He's like, you're not. He's like, was that for me?
I bought you 5 minutes.
Because to me, like at that point, because that's still early in the movie, I'm
Yeah.
like, this movie's actually pretty decent.
Yeah.
They just,
That's the thing. That's the thing I feel about this movie. Like I don't mind it up until the midpoint.
I'd also argue there needed to be more socks. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like you needed more socks and more buzz. Like, in this movie altogether.
Well, and that's what I said. I mean, I like it. I think up until that last jump.
To me, I liked it. I could have ignored the little things the little nitpicks that I had up until they joined forces with the rookies,
Yeah.
and then from then on it was just straight down.
And that's the thing. It's like this movie has. It has there's a Disney movie that I love that has something similar.
Frames?
And it's a tonal problem, which and what I'm referring to is Hunchback of Notre Dame. So
Notre Dame.
sure, Notre Dame,
Notre Dame, dude. What do you say?
but it's a tonal problem because it wants to be serious and do these things, but then it has to have this other thing because it's a Disney movie. But the difference I find is Hunchback, when it does the serious things, it goes all the way. And I feel like that makes up for a bit of the lightheartedness, because even still the lightheartedness is part of that.
Because I'd argue for Notre Dame that it's both directions.
Yeah.
It's like really hard one way, really hard
it's
the other.
whiplash.
But I'd also argue that it's more darker than it is funny.
Yeah, I mean, but the heart of it is still in that darkness.
That's what I said. It's farther that way than it is
exactly.
the other way.
So I mean, you could hate the Gargoyle song and whatever's, but
the best song.
every other song, every other piece in there is in that other direction.
But that movie was too dark for me to finish as a kid. Never finished
I didn't like it as a kid. not gonna lie.
I still never seen it all
As
the
a
way
kid,
through.
I'm like,
I love that movie,
this
dude.
movie's mid.
I love
this
that
movie's
movie.
ass.
And then he lit his building on fire recently.
Yeah.
And you're like, what an asshole.
I love that movie. I still think it's Alan Menken's best score, personally.
No, I'm just
But
kidding.
Like how many points you give it?
although
score?
Little Shop of Horrors is pretty up there.
That's God tier.
That one's pretty up there. So I don't know. That's a
Did you
tough
watch
run.
that movie?
No, he hasn't seen that one.
Get
But
off
as far
the-
as Alan Menken's Disney movies, I think Hunchback's my favorite. But this, like I said, this one it's like it wants to be Interstellar,
Man,
but it doesn't want to commit to being Interstellar.
I agree with that completely.
Can it even be Stormtrooper? What's
Stormtroopers?
Starship Troopers, or that, because that's
You can't even be that.
Brain. That's exactly what this movie was supposed to be, is Starship Troopers.
I don't know, man. That has action in it.
I know that's the point. But that's what I
It
mean.
didn't have action.
No, that's what I mean. But with like the bugs and everything,
No,
I'm
I
like,
know.
this is supposed to be Starship Troopers.
I feel like this movie was one where they're like, we want a little bit of serious, but we're Disney, so you have to crank the seriousness all the way back.
Or try to. Well, it's Pixar, right?
Yeah.
And Pixar's known, even if there's some lightheartedness,
Yeah.
there's supposed to be a gut punch somewhere,
Yeah.
right?
I don't feel like I ever got the gut punch.
That gut
No.
punch one when the one chick died.
Yeah, but I also don't.
But it was too
long
early.
enough.
Yeah.
It was like, hi, I'm your friend. I'm dead. I'm like, who
And
was
then-
that?
He was like, I'm gonna show Buzz being a dick to his friend. He was like, don't do it. You're gonna waste all this time. Fuck you.
'Cause I'd
I'm gonna
argue-
do it anyway.
I would say like the one movie that does it, you're probably gonna bring us Up.
Up,
Yeah.
because in
Up
the
is,
first
I
5
think,
minutes
the first
is,
one that has the quickest gut punch to
Yeah,
movie
yeah.
that works out really well.
God tier.
And I felt like they tried that.
But that's also in its presentation, though.
Oh yeah.
And I think the reason it doesn't work here as it does there is just how the movie's presented at the beginning. Because I think the first scene of this movie is trying to establish it as a lighthearted action.
Yeah.
And then it transitions into that.
Because I think
it becomes serious.
Yeah. The only reason why I think she was in this film, like to yank her away, was to make him a moody character.
Yeah.
Because I think if she survived and he got demoted, has to deal with a recruit, but at least his friend would still be there.
Yeah.
He probably wouldn't be as like, fuck you guy, like type of mentality.
Yeah.
I feel like he'd be more like, you know what? At least I have like my best friend here, and we can we can figure this out.
It
over
was
time.
his own fault.
Of course it was, but he's stupid.
He's stupid. Yeah.
Name one part where he was smart, except for the first 20 minutes.
The first 20 seconds.
I mean, part of me was I found it funny how like there's so many lines that were ripped directly from Toy Story.
Oh, of course.
Like that first original monologue is the monologue that he comes out of the ship with. And then like there's a couple other spots and stuff there, and I was just like,
the one I remember the most is when he's fighting Zurg.
Yeah. The not today Zurg.
Yeah, and then jumps over him and goes pew 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 pew. Oh, like straight from Toy Story 2.
Yeah. But I mean, that's all over the place. The when he first crash lands and he's like, and he has that thing too. It's the exact same lines that he did in Toy Story, and I understand that's supposed to be there for a reason.
I did like those lines. Yeah. Definitely when he was like, I don't remember if he said Starlog,
Star Command.
Star Command, yeah. And he's just
Captain's
like,
whatever.
I'm like, that's pretty funny. I like this.
Oh, that's the other thing too. I mean,
kids nowadays wouldn't get it.
He's supposed to be like Star Trek.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
This movie is just all the stars.
Because that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But then it's not.
I do have a physics question because we're all super smart and we're all physicists.
I failed physics in high school. Yeah.
Perfect. You're the perfect one to ask. So if you're going fucking, he's going hyperspeed, right?
Yeah.
Not light speed.
Hyperspeed.
So technically faster than light.
Yeah.
Or if you're sci-fi lingo, it's supposed to be faster than light.
So he's going faster than light. It's a 4-minute fucking flight. There's no way any of that there is going to be there in 4 minutes.
He's going to move.
No, but if he's going that speed when you're coming back, see, Planet does that, he would go that.
Right.
Because Planet still moves. Planet is not a stationary object.
Flies into the sun.
Yeah.
Fuck, he might.
Because that's always the idea with hyperspeed, right? Is you're
warping time.
You're warping time and space to make the distance shorter.
Yeah. But you shouldn't be warping. Well, so you're warping time and space to make it shorter, not to speed up
because that's the well, but that's just an issue. That's a byproduct of it, right?
Well, yeah.
That's why I said this movie's trying to be Interstellar, because Interstellar talks about the same thing and time dilation because of black holes, right?
Because I would argue there's no way those gates or that planet would be in that position unless he somehow, when he was flying, shifted everything. I mean,
that's the thing. Unless that's part of the calculation. That's part of the calculation, right? Because I mean, he's supposed to like whip around that system star, right? And then come back to it. So maybe by using the star as your focal point,
as your slingshot,
as your slingshot. Because the thing is, like, the planet is still going to be in the orbit of that star. Yes. It's not like it's going to move.
Yes.
So maybe using that as
you get real unlucky.
Yeah.
It's either getting sucked in or pushed away.
And so I think if you use that as your like main point of triangulation, but the problem is I don't know how they would put that into your calculations from the get-go when they're surprised that happens the first time.
Yeah. And then you also got to calculate that the gates are still going to be there, that nothing gets shot up into space within that fucking 4-minute time period.
Of course. But the thing is, obviously on the first time they didn't know that was going to happen, right?
Which
is weird, because you would think that would...
You think the physicists in the fucking background are doing some calculations.
If you could explain it so easily when it happens... You think that would have been part of the... you wouldn't be surprised when it happened,
like,
you know?
Oh, dude, I did it. Who would have thunk?
Everyone was like, instead of like, holy shit, you're back. They're like, oh, you back, dude? You've been gone for like 4 years.
Well, it's very like, it's funny because it's like...
forgot about it.
No, I don't think it's that. It's like after it's like almost immediately after he went and didn't come back, they realized what happened, and they're like, "Oh, we forgot something. Well, I guess we just gotta wait for him now."
Also, what do you see within that time period? Because this is a part of physics that doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
because obviously this is impossible via
modern technology
standards is right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you even see him? Is he frozen in space?
Well, here's the thing, right?
Time?
Because, and I mean, this is a thought experiment on like black holes, right?
Yeah.
So,
you're telling me he just goes funk and
Welcome
then
to science
4 minutes
corner.
later,
because in the idea of black holes, and this is something that I've read, it's like if you were here,
yeah,
and a black hole was there,
yeah,
and you were watching someone go towards the black hole, there would come a point where they would look like they aren't moving, even though they've already passed the event horizon, and you would never see them past the event horizon.
Yeah. So you're telling me I picture little Jimmy. That's Lightyear. That Starkling star that's been there for 20 years. Yeah. That's him right there.
Yeah. See, what I don't get is there's no safety protocols. Obviously, some bullshit went down on his ship, and there was no like record on the back on like whatever planet they were. Like, oh, dude, the battery's fucked. He's dead.
Or he fucking misses the gates, and he's just like, he's gone.
He almost did. And no one is like, dude, I thought you were dead.
They're not watching for him anymore.
Yeah. It's like, oh well.
Well, that's the weird. Maybe they don't recognize he's there until he hits that first gate. Because this is the weird thing when you think about like hyperspeed travel, right? Yeah. The idea of if you're bending space time, are you in normal space?
Yeah. Are you in the in between?
Yeah.
Or
do signals travel? Yeah. Is that a thing that happens once you enter this area or like a wormhole or whatever?
But we don't know.
Can you communicate? Yeah. Those waves travel the same way?
Yeah, because the issue is, are you bending space or space and time?
They're lagged.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Because even when I think of space-time travel, like, besides you moving at the speed of light, everything moves faster behind you. But if that's the thing, then you're not bending space. Because if you're bending space, you're not... From how I understand it, time is relative, and it is the same, but to you and to the other side. All you're doing is bending the mass so you can go through it. So you pop
in that case, that is.
If you're going faster than the speed of light, then you're doing that's a speed thing.
Well, but the problem is space time is together.
Yeah, I know, it's one and the same.
Yeah, so when you're changing in those speeds, or if you're fucking with gravity in any way, it fucks with things, right? Yeah. So one of the ideas with like light or reaching the speed of light is the closer you get to the speed of light, time compresses. Yeah. So at some point, the idea is if you were to reach that speed, you would see all time at once. Yeah. Because it's just infinitely compressed.
So you're saying that if you're going the speed of light, you're going slower than the person that's walking next to you.
Maybe. I don't know.
Because you're saying if I stand here and I take a step at a speed of light, but you take a step at normal time, you will pass me before I make it to the next step.
Technically, yeah.
Crazy. His
well, technically, you'd be going so fast that you take a step and next thing you know, he's not there anymore. The buildings have crumbled. It's like nature took over. The apocalypse happened. I mean, this is what happened. This is how fast you're going. You take a step at this speed, and next thing you know, the world's been obliterated.
That would have been I think that would have been way better.
You're like, dude, I took a wrong left somewhere. Nothing's here.
I think that would have been a great stopping point. Would have been, instead of him coming back.
No, I didn't. Oh, sorry.
You're fine. I was gonna say, instead of him coming back to like the planet as it was like already taken over by the aliens, or shit went down, and he's like, I gotta go save them, and then
I thought what was gonna happen.
That would have been better.
You know what I thought was gonna be the case, and I think would have been, well, I mean, maybe not a kids movie, but a better movie. I thought he was gonna come back, and everyone was gonna be dead.
That's what I thought.
He was gonna come back, and everything was gone.
Yeah, that's basically what I was hoping for.
Yeah, that's what I thought would have been the case. Like he decided to do this, and because of it, the whole reason he was going for it is gone. Completely.
I feel like
Yeah.
Well, I feel like you could still have stragglers survive.
No, yes.
And then that's how you kind of.
Yeah.
Make
I
it
think that
still
would have been a
happy.
better point for his character development. And like, dude, because your fucking tunnel vision, you did this.
Like, you can't even leave anymore.
Yeah.
Like, the ship's gone. The people who can make it function are gone, except for maybe like a ragtag group of people that survived the apocalypse. But that's it.
Yeah.
This is what you've been left with because you decided to do this.
I also
thing.
feel like you could do that and still make it lighthearted.
Yeah.
It'd just be like, because I feel like there's a lot. Definitely in the beginning, there's one character that we all felt attached for, kind of.
Yeah.
And then they just threw him away. But you could have killed off almost everybody, and no one would have like batted an eye. Like, oh, I lost half the population. That background character was my favorite character.
You know what I just realized?
What?
Batman.
No. The plot of this film for the second half is the exact same plot as the Lost in Space remake, not the Netflix one, the 90s one. The one that has Chandler in it.
Yeah.
It is the exact same plot.
It didn't work then. It didn't work now.
Where like the Chandler in the future becomes a mechanoid thing and wants to. It's the exact same plot.
Bro, okay, let's get to it.
We
They
are-
changed the canon on this fucking shit.
Oh, with Zurg?
Yeah.
Well, I almost feel like there's multiple Zurgs, if that makes sense.
Sure.
That's how I kind of
Well,
understood it.
Or
Tell me Buzz was
he-
Zurg the whole time, and
no,
not even
no,
the
no,
TV show.
no. He went back in time and he fucked his mom
What is this, Futurama now?
to make himself.
I thought you were
What is
gonna.
this, Futurama now?
I thought you were gonna say something way different. I thought you were gonna say he went to the future.
Back to the Future?
I thought you were gonna say he went to the future, beat Zurg, came back with his body, basically
Became Zurg.
became Zurg.
Nah.
But no, you went to.
He is his own dad.
I gotta leave the podcast.
I mean, like, when that happened, it's funny because I can kind of feel that was going to happen. I'm like, this is not his dad. Because, that's the joke, because Toy Story 2, right?
I was upset he wasn't his dad.
Yeah. But I knew it wasn't. I'm like, oh, this movie's playing with time travel. It's probably some bullshit like him in the future, some bull. And what's weird to me, like, there's never any mention or idea of the possibility that every time he jumps, there is not only a space-time dilation, but there is also the chance of universe splitting.
Oh yeah.
I fucking hate the multiverse.
Or timeline splitting. I don't mind multiverse ideas, especially in time travel.
If they do a sequel,
That's like the whole Steins Gate thing.
That's different.
It's the same.
That's different.
It's the same shit.
That's different.
It's the same bullshit. But
Go ahead.
and so like, it's weird that becomes a plot point. It for a movie that spends so much time trying to foreshadow things. That is like an idea that is never brought up ever. Yeah. The idea that when he makes that final jump, there's timeline
no
there's timeline splits.
Yeah. So you're saying that the other Buzz might be should be a different timeline instead of being like old Buzz that went from the future to the past.
No. Like, because it is a separate timeline. Because they both do the jump.
Oh yeah, it's true.
But one of them becomes this old Buzz that went to the fucking far off future and back.
Yeah.
And the other one is the Buzz we're watching.
Yeah.
Right? But then like the movie never explains that that's a possibility until it happens. Until it becomes a thing almost only for it's not even a payoff. It's just only to subvert the idea that Zurg isn't his dad. Or Zurg isn't just a robot.
Mm-hmm.
I would prefer him just being a robot.
You know what I thought it was gonna do?
What?
Because this is supposed to reference sci-fi films, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna go like the Planet of the Apes route, and I thought like the cat was eventually gonna be what makes all these robots and does all these things because he gets like corrupted or does some bullshit. That's where I thought it was gonna go. I'm like, if you're gonna go with the robots, you have a robot cat. He's gonna pull fucking Caesar.
That's what I thought first too.
And it's gonna become Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Which is fine because that's another sci-fi movie that's in this realm.
But it didn't.
No, but it didn't. And then it wanted to go back to Interstellar again without ever explaining that that's a possibility that it could happen.
Yeah. All we got is a space movie where we saw Buzz and old Buzz Doc.
But like he wasn't even a bad guy. Like
No.
Well, because that's another modern sensibility, right? A sci-fi movie of that age that he would have watched there's a very clear cut between good and evil, right? Because that's the type of film, right?
Yeah.
It's old archetypes.
Yeah.
Where in the modern day, you don't see that anymore.
No one's really bad. Everyone has a motive.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you have to relate to your villain, which can make interesting villains, which I'll agree.
Thanos is great.
But
Thanos.
sure.
Right.
But I feel like to a certain degree, if you're already going balls to the wall with genre conventions, like it doesn't really make sense to do this other than it's something that's been done already so many times and it's just kind of their go-to. Mm-hmm. They have to have like a twist villain or a villain that you kind of understand for whatever reason. They're like, oh, nobody's completely evil. I mean, sure, maybe. I still think some people are pretty fucking close to that.
Don't understand why he didn't do it. Because his plan was to, we take your crystal, we go back in time and prevent all of this from happening. And he's like, no.
He's like, what about the girl?
But he could have done the Marty McFly shit, right?
He could have fucked himself?
No, he could. No, sure. He could have gone to the past.
Fucked his mom?
Because he knows, right? He knows who she meets.
Yeah.
And
then he can dick her. Just what we've always...
No.
He just makes things happen as they're supposed to.
Yeah. Like every other sci-fi fucking time travel movie where he's like, he's like, yo... we're gonna go to the science lab really fast, and you play matchmaker. You try to make it happen anyway, right?
Right.
Which then and then you have the whole weird idea of like I guess what's the word I'm looking for here? The idea of time travel that the timeline is just set, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you have that idea, right? Where maybe he just fixes it that way, right?
Yeah.
Like. Hey,
that's a whole another movie.
Yeah.
But I still don't understand why he's like, no, what about these people I just met like a day or two ago? What about their lives? Like, who cares? I just met them.
It can be like it's like Jumanji, dude. Maybe this is just gonna happen, right? Because Jumanji is a time travel movie.
The original or the new
the original
ones? Oh, okay.
The original is a time travel movie, right? Because they finish and then it goes back in time.
Yeah.
Those kids still happen.
Yeah. And then they finish.
Those kids still happen, right? So maybe it's the same thing. Maybe he goes back. Maybe they'll meet each other anyway, and that kid comes up, and everybody's all hunky dory and happy on the planet they were supposed to go to.
There's no free will.
Not with time travel.
It's all ones and zeros, man. It's all ones and zeros.
Dude, once there's time travel, it's over.
Your free will is gone.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Some douchebag's gonna be going back and forth, fucking people. And like, stop, man.
Universe just implodes.
I heard people complain that Tim Allen wasn't in this movie. I didn't mind. I'm not married to Tim Allen's voice.
No.
And Buzz.
And I feel like Chris Evans did a pretty good job on that end.
It was pretty close.
It was very close.
I prefer the Spanish one, but I was just like, it's pretty good to Tim Allen. So I didn't mind.
Oh, Spanish dub.
Spanish Buzz, yeah.
Because that's obviously how we watched it first time, yeah.
What was his name?
Buzz.
Oh, did he have a cool name?
No.
El Buzz.
El Bozo.
El Buzzo.
That's from Toy Story 3.
Oh, okay. I also didn't mind the look of this, like comparing him to the old Buzz with the
curly Q.
Yeah.
Well, they're trying to make him more realistic looking, right, and not a toy.
Yeah.
And obviously, tech is infinitely progressed.
Bro, I hate it. They
movie.
didn't give him the button with the wings.
Same.
I was like, is this some bullshit? Like,
yeah. Well, it makes him go.
Well, you got the jetpack at one point.
Yeah, but he didn't do boop. And then the wings came out.
Well, if he does this, then the whole bubble suit goes on. The surrender suit.
Bubble suit Gundam.
Which I'd argue is the surrender suit is probably one of the worst suits possible. Your fucking hands and legs are fucking outside and your head is too.
It's a pretty bad
surrender stab.
You can't even undo it.
It's like pretty bad. Pretty bad design.
Pretty bad. Yeah.
Pretty bad design. It's like it's made for a klutzy character. It's like the people who designed this suit looked into the future and was like,
we're gonna find that one dumbass that's gonna use he's gonna use it.
Another nitpick. I didn't like that scene where he finds himself with his old suit again. and I thought it was gonna be a whole like, oh, very sentimental or whatever, and it was kind of just.
Where he was just like, I got my suit back.
I got my suit back. Cool. Yeah.
And then the girl's like, I also got a suit. Look, I got my name on it. And you're like, cool.
Yeah, and it's ruined it.
Well, I mean, like I said, this is more of a modern problem. This is a modern Disney problem.
Yeah.
Where Disney doesn't let you sit on anything sentimental without adding a gag.
Yeah, but they could have been fine with it.
Yeah.
But to me, this is where we get our RPG thing going back. He's nerfed. He's got a shitty suit.
He's level 1 Buzz.
And then he gets the suit and he's like, fuck yeah, I can do it. Choo, choo, choo. And then he just became, I'm stuck in a cone that I have to be friends to break a machine. Love that scene. Got
you. Oh, okay. Also, another scene is at the end, right, when like they get blown off of the ship.
Okay.
And Buzz has the battery, and I thought he was gonna get at a crossroads of like, hey, you put your battery in your ship and you fly away, or you put the battery in the armadillo ship and you save the people you just met.
Yeah.
But he did that. He went kaboom, and then the movie ended basically. He was like, oh well, guess I can't space travel anymore.
Basically.
It's funny. I think if this movie would have committed to just being a fun action movie, I wouldn't have cared for so many things. Like it was because I guess there's a level of expectation by what they present to you, right? Mm-hmm. And I think the fact that they try to present this as a more mature film just makes every flaw stand out so much more.
I think the other dumb flaw that I thought was, so you know how they had to get the recipe right to make the crystal by
it took
mixing
62 years.
Yeah, whatever bullshit. It's like, yeah, that makes sense, sure. And then he breaks the machine and they can't make it again. Or breaks the laptop that had the code that the robot cat that has probably storage up in here.
I was like, how
can't fucking remember?
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
This is why my theory was the cat does remember, and that's how he makes his super soldier army of the future.
That's fine. Anything could have happened there.
Infinite battery.
Yeah.
I learned, fuck the cat. Worst character.
Because that's what I thought. I'm like, oh, they broke it. But the cat knows, and he's just lying about it. And the cat over those 62 years is probably resentful of Buzz because he left him to do all this. See, this is the ideas that come in my mind, right? And so somehow with the time travel, there's a future version of him that makes this robot army that's like, fuck you, Buzz.
There is a future robot cat that did an army of robots.
Yeah, but he's with older Buzz, and older Buzz is the fucking messed up one, not the cat, right?
Yes, PTSD.
Yeah, cat's just like, yo, I'm here.
That's what I thought it was gonna be. And like I said, it's almost like if you're gonna borrow from like all these genre tropes anyway, I mean, at least commit to the good ones, you know?
Who was the writer of this fucking show? Do you think they did this movie for us as their target audience or a kids movie?
It's hard to tell.
I feel like they should have just done.
Well,
bringing new clients, new fans.
What's so weird, I think, right? I mean, this is the way, because I never felt like Pixar tried to make things that were targeted.
Yeah.
And I've never really felt that about a lot of their movies. The only time I've ever like felt a movie was targeted was like Cars. And I'm like, oh, this is definitely like a
I found
super
the
little kids
director.
movie.
What?
I found the director.
Yeah.
He's done
nothing.
No, he's done some stuff. We'll name the good stuff. Toy Story of Terror.
What does that mean?
No.
It's probably
like
a short.
Toy Story Toons, Small Fry.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And they did Finding Dory.
Which is not my favorite either.
Burn E, which is the short.
I do like that
the
short.
One.
I do like that short. But
that's his directing accomplishments.
Wow.
Well, and it's funny that Finding Dory is the other one because I really don't like Finding Dory either. But I don't know. It's like this movie's just weird to me.
Yeah.
But what's weird to me too is I feel like
this movie came out for no reason.
No, yeah. There's that too. But like Pixar is like so many misses lately.
Too many.
I don't know if it's because they're being missed or if they're being strangled.
Yeah.
Like their nuts are just fucking in a stranglehold. And Disney's like, you know what sold really good? Toy Story. We should do another movie of that. Like,
I'm trying to think of like the last one that I really loved.
Was last Pixar movie?
Yeah. Was probably Coco.
Movie wasn't even good.
What? You want to fight, bro?
What are you gonna do? You can't reach from there.
I can go across this table.
No, we got to stay out here on the mics.
I don't remember.
Because after that, you have like Toy Story 4.
Yeah.
You have Finding Dory.
Yeah.
You have Onward, which was fun. It was okay, but it was okay.
Okay, so let's go all the way to the bottom. Oh, nope.
And then you have this film. Oh, and then you have Turning Red, Turning Red was okay.
I don't really like Turning Red. Ciao Alberto, which was a short. No, that's a short. Where's non-short?
Because before Coco, fucking Inside Out was a banger. I mean,
Inside Out was a banger.
I didn't mind Luca.
I forgot about Luca. That's another one. That's another one that's after Coco.
They also did Soul.
Soul's okay.
I haven't watched it.
I haven't watched it yet.
Soul is okay. I'm okay with Soul. It's not.
Holy crap!
I don't think there's been any of them that have like hit me since. Soul was
Incredibles 2.
Then Coco. I think I would say I like Soul more than this film. But
how would you rate this movie? Ow.
Well, I mean, we called it mid, right? So
6.
Yeah.
Just go watch the cartoon show.
The cartoon show.
If you can find it.
Which voice actor though? Because there's 2.
There's 2.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that. I've only seen it in Spanish.
No, so in English, there's 2. The original run of the show had Tim Allen's voice, and then then they re-aired it with what's his face? His name is Peter, that guy, Kronk's voice, Patrick Warburton or whatever.
What?
Yeah, he does the voice.
See, that sounds funny, but that wouldn't be not my Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, but there's 2 versions of the show with those 2 voice acting. And it's interesting because the way they voice act them, even though it's the same animation, gives them a different vibe in each one. Yeah.
So watch it twice.
I remember when I found that, I was like, what? There's a difference?
Watch the dubs.
And then I watched the video of them going back and forth. I'm like, what the fuck?
Amazing.
I don't remember this.
Okay. Is there anything else you have to talk about on this film? Besides?
No, I had my nitpicks aside. This is like the worst way to make a Taika Waititi character.
Best.
Worst.
No.
I hated it.
What's his face is the best.
Hitler?
The rock guy. Oh, Hitler was pretty good.
He was pretty funny.
The rock guy is the best.
Yeah, from Thor Ragnarok is probably one of the better Taika Waititi characters.
Yeah, I got nothing else on this film.
No.
If you have kids, you can watch it. If you don't,
you kids probably won't like it.
I don't think I would have liked this movie as a kid.
No.
It feels not enough action.
It's not enough.
There's not enough action or enough jokes. It's a lot of weird mid ground. Even as an adult, I don't mind.
I feel like the jokes are for like adults. Not like not in that way, but like
they weren't even good jokes for adults.
You know what it is? It's just modern Disney humor. It's Marvel humor.
Gross. Why are they blending in?
Because of this.
Because Disney wants to be homogenous.
Bitches.
But I'm not gonna watching this movie. I'm like, this is like a mid Marvel movie.
You're telling me Marvel's the worst thing that happened to Disney?
No, I think Disney's the worst thing that happened to Disney.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm going to be completely honest, Disney was probably one of the best things to happen to Marvel.
Yeah.
Until it wasn't anymore.
Until after Avengers.
Until after Endgame.
No, until Thanos did this, and then after that, it was bad.
Yeah.
True. Endgame wasn't good.
It was okay.
It was okay.
Could have been better.
Infinite War.
I wanted
more single female fight scenes throwing
well,
shit for 1 second.
that's just pandering.
I know.
But
horribly done.
I think what I hated them. Well, I mean, this is just me being because I love Infinity War as a comic book, and I was really hoping they were just going to go balls to the wall and do the second half of that comic, because the first half was. I mean, the first half is it's similar.
Yeah.
You know, obviously MCU can't be the same, but it's similar to what happens. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. That means second half, I mean, I'm down. I mean, you already have Doctor Strange. Let's go fucking Living Tribunal. Let's go Eternity. Adam Warlock, let's go my boy. You already announced he exists. Let's bring him in. I want to see Space Jesus. But no. And then everything after that's just been kind of...
Mid.
Mid.
Yeah.
Below mid.
I'd argue below mid at this point.
Yep.
Anyway, do you have any news for us?
I watched this thing called Lightyear. You want to hear about it?
I would rather go watch Toy Story 1 or 2 again.
So Lightyear is about this film. No, I don't think I have anything this week.
Cool.
No one died. What a shame.
No one died.
Mm.
One Piece ends in 3 years.
Did he finally announce that?
Yep.
Fuck, dude.
X the doubt.
It's not a long way.
End
It's
of
gonna
an
be
era.
3 years and 1 month.
Until you realize there's like 20 other manga that are longer than it.
But not animation wise. Unless you count like fucking all
Detective
the kids
Conan.
ones. Yeah. The ones that are like, I got 30,000 shows. You're like, what?
Yu-Gi-Oh is pretty close.
No, not even that close.
The manga is. It's
Oh,
the manga's
yeah.
longer.
The manga's way longer.
Case closed.
That's
Well,
what I
case
meant.
closed
Yeah,
is the
case,
longer.
yeah, case closed.
Well, there's, I think it's like Shin-Chan.
Yeah.
And then, like,
Shin-Chan will never end.
no, of course not. It's like
I wasn't allowed to watch that show.
it's like saying the fucking Power Rangers will end. Never. Anyway, thanks for watching.
Yeah, thank you for watching.
Infinity and Beyond.
I guess
And buy our stickers.
to infinity. He doesn't. His fingers don't move.
No, dude, it's not like an action figure. You can go pew pew pew.
You know what'd be cool? Our
You can't go
last
pew pew pew.
our last scene, if you just grab the figure and yeet it at the camera. So we break the camera and the figure at the same.
Cool way to fight Buzz Lightyear.
All right, peace. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell us what you thought about this movie.
Gundam.
Buzz Lightyear.
Easy.
Gundam shit compared to Buzz Lightyear. As I saw.
Whoa, there's why you
for
gotta
watching.
be like that.